Let's bring in Mike Howell, Heritage Foundation Senior Advisor for Government Relations and former Department of Homeland Security Oversight Counsel. Mike, thanks for being with us. I shudder to think what a thunderstorm in that area is going to look like. But I want to go to the president's remarks today. He said, we will get the border under control. I got to ask you, Mike, what does he plan to do to make that happen? Because I don't see any policy changes on the horizon. Your thoughts?
You're exactly right. I expect none either. The policy changes that he would have to do are basically an undoing of his entire immigration and border security agenda. That was the agenda to undo everything Trump had put into place that got our border secure. They've been whittling away at what's left of border security policies, including Title 42, which is the categorical COVID exception to push migrants of certain classes back. And right now we see Schumer and company saying, no, you need to get rid of that altogether. The White House is being run by an activist base from the Open Borders lobby and George Soros staffers who are essentially Biden's beholden to. And this is who he gets his marching orders from. He's not really calling the shots in the White House. And Mayorkas isn't either.
Mike, my sense is this is about to get much worse before it gets any better. What we're seeing in Del Rito might just be the tip of the iceberg here. And we've had to redeploy Border Patrol from other areas of the border to Del Rio. That's leaving hundreds of miles of border more exposed than ever. Talk about what we might see as we get into October, November, and beyond.
Right. So August is supposed to be a low crossing period. Instead, it's at 200,000, about 4 times what it was the year before for last month. There are no signs of this slowing down. We've been hovering at about 200,000 illegal crossings a month for some time now, basically the duration of the Biden presidency. We're on track for over 2 million this year alone. We're going to shatter all records. It's not going to change because people who want to come here illegally are seeing it being so successful for those who tried before them. I don't expect it to get any better. And you're absolutely right. Border Patrol officers and agents are being taken off the line to go deal with processing these illegal aliens into the interior of the country where they'll stay forever. And they're not guarding the open areas of hundreds of miles of the border. That is where the people who wish to do lots of harm will go, whether to bring drugs, gangs, criminal activity. They're going completely unimpeded.
Mike, what's crazy to me here is you have a national border, and yet you have a state governor who's having to go to private landowners and say, we need to solve this ourselves because the national government won't deal with this. I understand Texas is just doing what it can, Mike, but this cannot be a workable approach for the entirety of our border going forward.
You're absolutely right. And this is why I call this Biden border crisis a constitutional crisis. Never before in our history has the president basically ceded our territorial integrity and sponsored an invasion into this country. The Constitution kind of assumes that the president will actually, and it mandates him to take and enforce the laws, take care of the laws. This president is completely ignoring him. And so now you have state governors who are basically caught up in this constitutional crisis where the federal government and the Department of Justice is saying you can't do a dang thing about people crossing into the border because that's our responsibility, but we're not going to do it ourselves. And so it's an impossible position for these states. Governor Abbott is taking some steps, but it's eventually going to get to a situation where the Biden administration is stepping in and physically stopping them from doing things to secure their own border.
Look, Texas is doing what it can. God bless them for that, but it cannot be the approach for the United States of America. Thank you, Mike. We'll be right back.